Yo, what's going on, guys? And today, the day after the Suns were eliminated from the playoffs, on my NBA show and even on Twitter, I was like, we probably just saw Deandre Ayton and maybe even Chris Paul too play their last games as Phoenix Suns. Nothing against them. I think they're both talented basketball players. I think obviously Chris Paul is heading in a different direction with his career, getting closer to the end of the tunnel, while Deandre Ayton's a guy that I definitely think is, I was saying this on the NBA show, obviously I don't expect him to take a Mikal Bridges-esque jump, but this is a guy who's systematically put in a box by Monty Williams. He is the fourth or fifth option. They're just telling him, hey, put backs and, just protect the rim and rebound, okay? And this is a guy that coming out of college, we thought he could be like Joel Embiid light. Again, Joel Embiid light, like the Walmart store brand version of Joel Embiid, which is still a deserving number one overall player, still an all-star level player, okay? That's nothing to sneeze at. But there's a report coming out today that they are aggressively pursuing a trade for Deandre Ayton. If you guys want to know exactly, I know the Dallas Mavericks have come out and said they are very much interested in trying to figure out how to get a guy like Deandre Ayton. And that I think literally this is a guy who has a spot in the NBA. He's definitely a top 15 center, like it or not. I mean, the guy was literally taking 11 field goals a night in the playoffs. And this is according to ESPN's Tim MacMahon. Ayton would be excited about a fresh start with another franchise, sources told ESPN. The Suns are expected to aggressively explore the trade market for him this summer, league sources said. Although Ayton had a disappointing series against Denver, getting benched down the stretch of Suns' Game 3 win and frequently dominated by two-time MVP center Nikola Jokic, league sources expect several teams to show interest in acquiring the 24-year-old who averaged 18 points and 10 rebounds per game this season. The Suns almost let him walk after allowing him to sign an offer sheet with the Pacers, but eventually matched it by paying him 30 cents more. Yeah, that's how cheap Robert Sarver is. To match the contract, he just literally did the minimum, which it was 15 cents, not even 13. They're like, oh, they offer you this, here, we'll match it, plus 15 cents, which I think is the minimum. Well, the former number one overall pick has been a good regular season player. He has been a guy that hasn't been insane in the playoffs. Now, the Suns could look to move Ayton to bring in more depth because they saw, hey, Jock Landale, Bismack Biyombo, and maybe they go out and get another center along the lines of like I don't know who would be available. Like Zach Collins would be great for them, but with Paul aging, the Suns don't have a huge window, and Paul might even be on his way out this summer because we're hearing Fred VanVleet's a guy that, the Suns are also expected to shop Chris Paul this summer. It's pretty likely Chris Paul will be playing for a different team. And I think Chris Paul is harder to trade than Deandre Ayton. I think a lot of people will be open to trade for Deandre Ayton, but then you look at Chris Paul and you're like, who would you trade Chris Paul for? Who would even trade for Chris Paul? I mean, I could see the Timberwolves doing it if you guys want Mike Conley, but I don't think you're going to want to do the old man swap. Does he go to LA? And that's either the Lakers or Clippers. Maybe he makes a return home. I think this is definitely an interesting situation as it's one, most of us aren't aware on how it should be handled because for me, I look at this and I think, hey, this is a team that is only a few pieces away from being like seriously good. And there's a lot of teams like the Wizards and the Heat are two teams that would definitely be interested in Chris Paul. Dude, if my Wizards could get Chris Paul, I don't know how we would get that man's contract on the books, but I'd be so for it. But that's the video, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me hear your thoughts. What do you guys think of Chris Paul and Deandre Ayton being traded?